Good day, everyone. My name is Moika Ge2 from Ge2. So, my topic is all about the MILF lead moral resistance. So, at the onset, there were already two differing ideological strands among moral leaders who lead in the formations of the MNLF. So, secular leaders led by Miswari with aversions to traditional moral elite were able to maintain their leadership of the MNLF. The traditional elite, together with a number of religious leaders, took the backstage to avert petty squabbles during the initial stage of organizing armed resistance against the Marcos dictatorship. So a year after the signing of Tripoli Agreement of 1976, however, several members of the MNLF Central Committee submitted the document instrument of takeover of leadership from Iswari to organizations of Islamic countries or the OIC. So this was the culminations of earlier protests against Miswari's styles of leadership. So the takeover instrument was signed by Salamat Hashim, Al-Hajj Murad, Ghazali Jafar, Muhagir Bal, Abu Khalil Yaha, and Emil Malago. So all from the Maguindanao Muro group. So Miswari and other leaders came from the Tausug group. So similar petitions were also sent to the OIC by Maranao Moro leaders, including Abu Widad Mimbantas, Sali Razgal, Ansari Imoshe, and Muhammad James Bond. So, in a personal letter to Amadou Karim K., then Secretary General of the OIC, demanding for the removal of Miswari from the MNLF leadership. So, Salamat Hashem said that the MNLF leadership was being manipulated from the Islamic faith, methodologies, and objective, and was fast evolving toward Marx's most orientation. So instead of showing harmonized and collective leadership, Hashim said that um, excuse me, the Central Committee had evolved into mysterious, exclusive, secretive, and monolithic body was whose policies and plans, decisions, and dispositions, political, financial, and or strategic became an exclusive domain of um, Miswari, waiting all commitments previously arrived at to submit for consultation not only with MNLF members but to organizations and the Philippines and abroad sympathetic to the movement. So this mysterious, secretive, and arrogant style of leadership of the MNLF resulted in um, confusions, suspicions, and disappointments among member and Mujahidins in the field, thus leading to the loss of many fighters, Hashim further said. So, um, the Miswari, the Miswari refused to accept the demand of abdications by Hashim's faction or had the intercessions of both the OIC and the Muslim League or the MWL. The internal economy created two wings, which is the Missouri Wing and the Hashim Wing. Later in 1982, another subgroup emerged, the MNLF Reformist Group under Dimas Mandato, a Maranao and former chief of police of Marawi. So 3 years later, this group folded off while Pandito under the new government of Aquino following the EDSA revolt in 1986 was appointed as head of the Muslim Affairs or the OMA. So it was only in 1984 that the Hashim Wing declared itself as a separate organization. So the Moro Islamic Liberation Front or the MILF National was replaced with Islamic, apparently to Moro reader history and contemporary struggles of the Bangsamoro people. 136 emphasize its religious orientation. So the MILF armed component came to be known as the Bangsamoro Islamic Auxiliary Force or the BIAF. So in the last quarter of the 1990s, the MILF launched a propaganda campaign to neutralize, if not gain, the support of social sectors influential in shaping public opinion: the church, mass media, academe, traditional politicians, and NGO community. Camp Abubakar was opened to visitors to see the MILF program of a micro-Islamic state. So alongside this is in 1997, the Ulama Professional League launched the 3D First Bangsamoro People's Consultative Assembly at Crossing Simuay Sultan Kudarat Sharif Kabunsuan. So this assembly reportedly drew about 1 million people, both Moro and non-Moro indigenous groups from all over Mindanao and Sulu. So also in 1997, the Ramos administrations initiated peace negotiations with the MILF. So this came a year after the signing of GRP MLF final peace around and years of low intensity military offensives in MILF based areas in central Mindanao, Basilan, Lanao, and Zamboanga. So, following the ouster of Estrada by People Power in 2001, the new President Gloria Arroyo resumed formal negotiations with the MILF, resulting in the signing of the Agreement of Peace in Tripoli, Libya in June that year. Okay, so next is the Communist Party of the Philippines. So while the contemporary more armed movements gravitated largely in claimed Muslim territories, it is the armed revolutionary movement led by the Communist Party of the Philippines or the CPP that has taken roots almost the whole Mindanao island since the early 1970s, or the CPP through the armed component, the New People's Army or the NPA, was waged a protracted guerrilla armed struggle as a part of its strategy of encircling from the countryside and install at People's Democratic Movement with a socialist perspective. So next is the tactical alliances with the MLF, MILF. So days before the declaration of martial law in September 1972, leaders of the both CPP and MNLF held a secret meeting in Manila. So Miswari, head of the MNLF panel, stood strongly. The Mindanao, Sulu, and Palawans constituted the Bangsamoro homeland. So although nothing more substantial came out of the talks, both Pace and agreed to keep the communications lines open for the formal talks. So